and that you can do it. I'm going to reintroduce myself so that way you have this for posterity. Hi, everyone. I'm Khrys. Excited to be here to teach you all chair yoga. So sometimes we have a preconceived notion of what yoga might be. And for today's purposes, maybe just let your mind be open that it can really be anything. And anything that allows us to be focused in our body and in our breath in the present moment. So today's practice is not going to be really very vigorous. It's not going to be big, huge movements. The idea is that you can take either this practice in its entirety or in small pieces and bring it into your daily life. So if you're sitting at your desk or in your car or at your dining room table, there are small pieces of this that you can invite in those moments. So you don't have to change your clothes or anything like that. So if you were hoping for like a huge workout, this is probably not for you, but I do hope that you will feel refreshed and energized and ready to take on whatever you have after this. So all of that being said, find a comfortable seat, whether it's a chair. I'm actually sitting on a bench. You could be in your car. In a comfortable seat for many of us, not always, but it's going to look like somewhere where we can have our feet firmly planted on the ground. So you might need to scoot forward, which might mean you might want to support behind your back or to sit on a pillow or something like that. But something that we can feel the groundedness through our feet and allows us to sit up nice and tall in our spine. And if you'd like, you can close your eyes or simply soften your gaze. And take the next several moments to just notice your breath. And perhaps this is the first time today or in a long time that you've even considered how your breath moves through your body. And that's okay. But can you allow this time to be just a noticing, an observation without judgment of how your breath flows or doesn't in your body? And perhaps you find it useful to bring your hands to your low belly. Even bring a hand to chest and belly here. And maybe this allows you to have a more tactile connection with your breath. Gentle rising and falling of the abdomen. If possible, start to make your way into an even ratio breathing. So what that means is the length of your inhale will match the length of your exhale. A good place to start for most people is a count of 4. So with your next inhale, you'll simply silently count to yourself 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you will exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. You're welcome to stay with this 4-4 ratio. Another option is to come to a count of 4 and 6. So your inhale will stay for a count of 4, but you will elongate the exhalation to a 6. See if you can smooth out the exhale so that you're evenly exhaling at the beginning of the exhalation as you are at the end of the exhalation. So instead of releasing the entire breath all at once, Can you slowly release through that 6 count? Take about 2 or 3 more cycles of breath at this 4-6 ratio. When you feel ready, you'll let that practice go and just come back to your normal, natural breath. Here we will invite some movement for the arms. If it's helpful, you're welcome to watch me and I will demonstrate, but you also can keep the eyes closed and just do the best you can with the sound of my voice. Use your next inhale to start to float your right arm up towards the sky. And then use your exhalation to let the right arm float back down to where you got it from. And then you'll use your next inhalation to do the same thing on the left side. Start to float the left arm up and then gently exhale to float the left arm down. Good. Now you're moving at your own pace with your own breath. The idea here is that you're trying to match the movement to your breath. So as soon as you finish inhaling, pause the movement. And then as soon as you start exhaling, begin the descent. Might be helpful here to imagine, especially as you lower the arm, a tall tree in the fall, the way the leaf slowly falls off the tree doesn't really drop down, right? Kind of moves gently side to side and slowly lands on the earth. The same way that you're moving your arms here. There's a gentleness, a softness in the fingers, the wrists, the elbows. Good. See if you can do one more each side or until you feel a sense of evenness in your body. Good. Your hands can come to your lap if they're not already there. And we'll prepare for a few rounds of seated cat-cow. You'll use your inhale to gently draw your heart forward, like you're opening your chest. Draw your shoulder blades together. The gaze might go up towards the sky. And as you exhale, you will hollow out the belly, tuck your chin in towards your chest as you round in the upper back. Good. So use your own breath here. Your inhales bring you into that cow shape. Draw the shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, think of that Halloween cat as you round and tuck your chin in towards your chest. So always going to give you the option here to move at a pace that makes sense for you and your body in this moment, which might also mean that if you find a shape with your body that you feel like you want to linger in or spend more time, you're welcome to take an extra round or two of breath there. One more full round here of your version of seated cat-cow. No rush. As you make your way back to center, back to your tall spine, we'll bring our awareness now into our cervical spine. That's the spine we sometimes call our neck. So allow your chin to drop towards your chest here and notice the length in the back of your neck. And now allow your right ear to come towards your right shoulder. Notice length in the side of your neck. And then bring your chin towards your right shoulder. So now there's a twist and a lengthening in the side of the neck. And then almost as if you're painting a rainbow with your chin, you're gonna go up and over towards the sky and bring your left ear towards your left shoulder. Then your chin towards your left shoulder. And then your chin comes down to your chest. Good. So that was one really slow, full round. Go ahead and move here more freely with your own pace. When we moved through it slowly, you might have noticed tension or tightness in a particular area, and I invite you to be curious about that and perhaps return to that space and offer it more breath. Just a few more rounds. In your own time, you will come back to center, return to your tall spine. You'll find just a couple of twists here. So if you have a chair with an arm on it, it can be helpful, useful to twist towards the arm of your chair and use that as a place to anchor. If you're sitting more like me on a surface without an arm, you can simply bring your hand, call it your left hand, down towards the chair, the earth, the arm of the chair, and twist towards that hand that is anchoring you down. So you might bring your opposite hand to the outer knee. But the idea is that there's length in the spine as we rotate. It doesn't have to be a huge twist. It's just a gentle twist. Perhaps you feel the shoulder blades coming together and forward, almost as if they're traveling from the back body towards the front of your body. If you'd like to deepen this twist, the chin can look over that shoulder towards, almost like as if you're looking behind you. Take one more inhale here to grow nice and tall, and then exhale to release back to center. When you're ready, find your second side. Twist in the opposite direction. Tall spine, feel the shoulder blades come together as they press gently forward from the back body towards the front of the body. And for a gentle, deeper twist, bring the chin over the shoulder to look behind you. Last inhale here, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale to release back to center. Good. From here, you will inhale to lift the heads of your shoulders up towards your ears. Good. And as you exhale, send the shoulders back behind you and down. Good. A few more times like this. Inhale, shoulders come up towards the ears. And then exhale, send the shoulders back and down. Last one in this direction. Breath in, shoulders come up. Breath out, shoulders go back and down. Good. This time, inhale to bring the shoulders up. This one always feels funny in my body. As you exhale, forward and down. Good. Two more. Inhale, shoulders come up. And then exhale, forward and down. Last one. Inhale, shoulders come up. And then exhale, forward and down. Good. This time, use your inhale to bring your fingertips up towards the ceiling. So some of us might be able to reach straight up. Some of us are more reaching forward. Either way is fine. Let there be space between the hands here. Inhale to grow a little taller. And then exhale, release your right hand down and reach the left fingertips over for a side bend here. So we're creating space in the side of the body. Sometimes helpful to think about the rib cage like an accordion. And as you inhale and stretch, you're opening that accordion up. Good. Use your next inhale, come back up to center. Both hands reach tall. And then exhale, find your second side stretch. Hand comes down, and now the accordion is opening in the right side rib cage. Good. And then take an inhale to come back to center. Release both hands down into your lap. And then bring your awareness to the feet, which hopefully, if possible, are on the ground or on blocks or books or whatever you've got. And just take a moment here to find mountain. If you're familiar with yoga practice, oftentimes we think of mountain as the standing shape, but really it can be done just as easily seated. We aim to find a groundedness through our feet, a connection of our feet to the earth, and lengthen our spine. Imagine the crown of your head, the top of your head is reaching up towards the sky as your feet gently press into the earth. And this is one of my favorite postures because it is so simple. But if you bring the characteristics and qualities of a mountain into this shape, there's a sense of stability, of strength. When a mountain, if anything, is immovable, right? So there's this connection to the earth, to your seat, but soften just enough so that you can find your breath. And perhaps you imagine here that your inhale is coming up through the soles of your feet, traveling up through your legs, up through your spine, and out the top of your head. And then as you exhale, the exhale travels from the top of the head down the body, through the legs, and out the soles of the feet. Good. From here, when you're ready, you will pick up your right foot. It doesn't have to be much. You'll stretch it forward. You can also, doesn't have to be this high. That can be really intense, but just let it lift enough so that you can find ankle circles in your right foot. Move in either direction, doesn't matter, but start to switch directions if you haven't already. You play with flexing and pointing the foot, bringing the toes closer to your face and then away from your face. Good. And then release that right foot down. We'll do the same thing on the second side. Lift up the other leg and start to find those ankle circles, flexing and pointing the foot. That's reaching through the heel, drawing the toes towards your face. Going in both directions here. And then return left foot back down to the earth. And this is always just something I like to do for fun because our feet rarely get enough attention. With all 10 toes touching the ground, see if you can lift. We'll start with our big toe on each foot together. We'll lift through the toes one at a time. So you'll lift the big toes, then the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. So if anybody can do that, I would love to see it because most oftentimes when we do this, all the toes lift at the same time, right? So all 10 toes are now lifted. See if you can lower them one at a time, starting with the little toe, middle toe, I guess second toe, all the way down to the big toe. Again, rarely do we have this much control over our toes, but it's probably because we don't give them enough attention. If you do this a couple times, it gets a little bit easier, but see if you can do that a few more times. If you can lift the toes independently, or even like two at a time, I think would be impressive. But typically, most of us tend to have to lift them all at once and lower them all at once. It feels like this strange, like disconnect from your body because you're telling them to do something and they're just not listening, but that's okay. Good. When you're ready, all 10 toes come back to the earth and we'll find our YUTWs. So these are my favorite. What this looks like, so you're going to take an inhale to bring your arms into a Y position. So the arms are wide, space between the hands. Good. So this is our Y. Take a big inhale here, grow a little bit taller. And as you exhale, make a U shape with the arms. This is sometimes called cactus arms. But you can see it's like one big U here. Good. So from this U shape, you'll breathe in to reach into a T. So arms reach towards the opposite sides of the room. Might even wiggle the fingers here. Good. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, find your W. Pull your elbows into your side, shoulder blades draw together and down. Beautiful. Let's move a few more times with the breath. Inhale for Y. Exhale for U. Inhale for T. Exhale for W. Good. One more round. Inhale Y. Exhale U. Inhale for T. And exhale for W. Good. Inhale to reach up. And then exhale, release the hands into your lap. We'll find a gentle forward fold here. So this will look different for all of us. Some of us might be able to lean far enough forward where the torso rests on the thighs and the arms kind of just dangle down and we let the head hang heavy. For others of us, we're going to want to keep the arms on the thighs and it's just a gentle forward fold. But find what works for you. Simply allow the spine to release. There's probably a gentle rounding in the spine. As you give yourself perhaps just a little gentle hug here. Let the head be heavy so there's little to no effort in the neck. A few more rounds of breath here. And if possible, use your next inhale to move as slowly as you can to roll yourself back up into your seat. Your head will lift last, slow as you can. Couple shoulder rolls, perhaps when you finally do arrive to that seated shape. Good. From our seat, we'll find a seated figure four chair. So this is a nice stretch for our outer hips. You will, doesn't matter which side you start on, but let's assume you're going to have your right foot down. You will cross your left ankle over your right knee. So if this isn't possible for you, you might just cross your thigh over thigh if that's easier. But either way, we're aiming to find some sensation in the outer hip. For some of us, this is plenty. Sitting up nice and tall, finding this cross, we already feel a stretch. If you need a little bit more, you can start to lean gently forward. It doesn't have to be a whole huge stretch here. We're just trying to bring some energy, some intelligence into parts of our body that perhaps don't get enough attention. When you're in these longer holds here, it's very normal if the mind starts to drift, or sometimes if it doesn't drift, it just sits and finds something to perhaps criticize, like, oh, my hips are so tight and I should be doing more. But see if you can release those types of thoughts and return to your breath. Perhaps come back to that 4-4 breath. Final cycle of breath here. Good. Release the foot back down to the earth, and we will simply switch sides. The opposite leg crosses. Again, you can choose the cross of the thighs, cross of the ankle over knee, and then you'll decide if it makes sense to find a gentle lean forward or if you're good right where you are with a tall spine. Last cycle of breath here. Good. And then release the foot down. Come back into your mountain, your tall seat, actively pressing feet into the earth as you reach the top of your head up towards the sky. Bring our awareness and our focus now into our hands and wrists, also a part of the body that doesn't always get a lot of our attention. So we'll start to bring some stretches in for our wrists. So sometimes it's just nice to do these, like I call these jazz hands. Maybe they're called, there's something better here. I think Ricky, maybe I've heard you call these like firework, not sure. But we'll just start to get some movement and blood flow into our hands. Good. And then start to find some circles. So almost like you're closing your thumb into your underneath your forefingers and start to find some circles here. It doesn't matter which direction. Good. And then reach the arms forward and find an interlace here. And then flip the thumbs to point down. So the hands, the palms of your hands are reaching forward. And maybe you find a little bit of that cat back here as you stretch through the hands. And then maybe use your next inhale to reach the fingertips, rather the interlaced fingers up towards the ceiling. Find a little cow. Good. And then exhale, round through the back, reach the palms of the hands forward. And then one more inhale, reach up, shoulder blades come together for cow as we reach. Good, good, good. Release the hands back down into the lap. And so when I was thinking about this class, I was thinking about this class being for anybody who spends too much time looking at a screen or sitting down, which I think that's most of us these days. So we're going to bring some stretches. It might sound a little weird for our eyeballs, but it can be really helpful to do just anytime you've been staring at a screen for too long. So if possible, bring your gaze ahead off of the screen, but further away beyond your screen, and see if you can bring your gaze directly in front of you to the wall that is past your screen or device. And then allow the gaze to come upward towards perhaps where that wall and ceiling meet. And even if you're not looking at a wall, like if you're in your car looking something outside, pick something that is slightly above your field of vision. So you have to look up gently. Good. Now bring your gaze downward to where the floor and the wall meet in front of you. Good. Now bring your gaze to the right without turning your head. Just allow the eyeballs to go towards the right. Good. And then up to the right where the right wall and ceiling meet. Allow the gaze to fall to where the right wall and floor meet. Good. Sweep the gaze back to center and then over to the left. Again, try to keep the neck and head still. It's just the eyes. Eyes slowly start to travel up where the left wall and ceiling meet. And then down to where the floor and the wall meet. It's like that's looking at a baseboard or something. Good. And then come back to center. Maybe open and close the eyes a few times, like you're fluttering the eyelashes. Good. And then return. Perhaps you keep the eyes closed if that's comfortable to you. You can keep them open. We'll come back to our center posture of mountain pose. And turn your attention back toward the breath, 4-4 breath, even ratio breathing. And start to bring a little more space between the feet. So there's like a wide stance with the feet. You might just gently use the hands here to find a gentle stretch, almost as if you're doing like coming to the outside rather of the outer edge of the right foot. So you're gently stretching through the inner thigh and the lower leg. So just like a gentle, happy baby here, but you're sitting down in a chair. Good. Come back to center. Then find your other side. Come to the outer edge of the foot. Gentle opening with the hand on the inner knee as you find length in the inner thigh. Stretch through the foot here as well and the ankle. Good. And then come back to center. Let's take a few rounds of cat cow here to resettle the spine. Mountain pose. Take an inhale to sweep the fingertips up toward the ceiling. And as you exhale, float the arms back down. A few more like that. Use your own breath here. Use your inhales to sweep the arms up, reach long, and then exhale, gently float them back down. Think about that leaf gently releasing from the tree. Couple more. Move at your own pace. Last one here. Good. Back in mountain pose, we'll start to prepare for just a few moments of stillness and of silence, sometimes called our Shavasana, our final resting pose. Some of you might choose to stay in this mountain pose if that's comfortable to you. If you prefer to find that forward fold, maybe that felt a little bit more restful in your body, it's also a good option. And if it feels like you're really tall in the spine, you want to find a little bit more comfort, you can also scoot the hips back, and maybe that means the feet come off the earth, but you have the support of your chair behind you. Start to release any effort in the feet, in the knees, in the hips. The hands are soft and light, as are the wrists and elbows. And the shoulders are relaxed and away from the ears. With the breath, the belly has permission to be soft. And if the eyes are closed, the eyelids are gently resting closed instead of squeezing shut. There's space between the top teeth and bottom teeth. And there's space between your two eyebrows. And we rest here. You're, of course, welcome to take more time here in silence, in stillness, in this rest practice. But if you are ready to start to come out, I'd like you to imagine as if you're waking up from a really restful sleep. So for you, that might look like reaching your arms up towards the sky for a big morning stretch. You might bring your hands behind your head. You might decide here to find some of those cat cows, whatever feels reawakening to your body, as if you're about to start your day fresh, revitalize. Good. Good. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time and attention. And I hope you're proud of yourself for giving yourself just, 40-ish minutes to come into your body and into your breath. And for those of us who spend our time taking care of others, as Ricky mentioned earlier, it's so important to um, give some time to take care of ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Khrys. We're BeWell in School. These are our virtual learning sessions, circles, and we'll probably have one more this school year. And these will be available on YouTube and BeWell Digital. I'm going to stop our recording, I think. Yes, they like move these